It was a crisp autumn morning in Chicago when Ryan Carter walked into his office at Milton and Company, one of the biggest and most prestigious law firms in the city. He had been working at the firm for 6 years, climbing the ranks with sheer dedication and an unwavering commitment to excellence. Now, he was on the brink of something big, a promotion that would make him one of the youngest senior partners in the firm's history. But Ryan wasn't the only one in line for the role. James Holloway, another associate, was also a strong contender. The two had joined Milton and Company around the same time, and while they had never been enemies, there was always an unspoken rivalry between them. Both were talented, ambitious, and determined to prove themselves. In the cutthroat world of corporate law, there was little room for friendship, only competition. Ryan prided himself on his work ethic. He stayed late, took on the most difficult cases, and always delivered results. But so did James. And now, with the senior partner position within reach, every move mattered. That morning, as Ryan settled into his office, his phone buzzed. It was an email from Mr. Whitman, the firm's managing partner. "Ryan, please see me in my office at 9:30 a.m. Important matter to discuss." Ryan's heart pounded. Was this it? The decision on the promotion? He quickly straightened his tie and made his way to the executive floor, where Mr. Whitman's office overlooked the Chicago skyline. Inside, Mr. Whitman greeted him with a warm but serious expression. "Ryan," he said, "you've been doing phenomenal work. Your dedication, your skill, and your results have been impressive. You're one of the strongest candidates for the senior partner position." Ryan nodded, trying to keep his excitement in check. "But before we make any final decisions, there's something I want to ask you," Mr. Whitman continued. "Have you noticed James struggling lately?" Ryan hesitated. He had seen James looking more exhausted than usual, making small mistakes that weren't typical of him. But he hadn't paid much attention. After all, they were competitors. "I suppose," Ryan said cautiously. "Why?" Mr. Whitman leaned back in his chair. "James is going through a rough time personally. His father is battling cancer, and it's been taking a toll on him. His work has suffered a little, but I know he's capable. What I want to know is, are you willing to help him?" Ryan blinked in surprise. Of all the things he had expected from this meeting, this was not one of them. He had spent years fighting to prove himself, to outshine everyone else. Now, instead of focusing on securing his promotion, he was being asked to help his biggest rival? He hesitated. "Sir, with all due respect, I've worked extremely hard to be where I am. If James is struggling, shouldn't that just be part of the competition?" Mr. Whitman smiled knowingly. "I understand your perspective, Ryan. But real leadership isn't just about individual success, it's about lifting others, even when you don't have to. Think about it." Ryan left the office deep in thought. That evening, as he sat in his apartment overlooking the city skyline, he couldn't shake Mr. Whitman's words. He thought about his own journey, the mentors who had guided him, the colleagues who had supported him. No one succeeds alone. The next morning, Ryan made a decision. He found James at the office coffee machine, staring blankly at his cup. "Hey," Ryan said, keeping his tone casual. "I heard you're handling the Baxter case. I had a similar case last year. If you need any help, let me know." James looked at him, clearly surprised. Thanks, Ryan. I appreciate that." At first, their interactions were brief. Ryan would offer a tip here and there, or suggest a strategy for James's case. But as time went on, he started genuinely investing in helping James. One evening, Ryan noticed James still at his desk long after most people had left. He sighed, grabbed his coffee, and walked over. Still working? Ryan asked. James ran a hand through his hair. Yeah. I can't afford to mess this case up. Ryan pulled up a chair. Let's go over it together. For the next hour, Ryan helped James refine his argument, pointing out flaws and suggesting improvements. James absorbed everything, his stress slowly easing as he regained confidence in his work. As days passed, Ryan saw a change in James. His confidence returned. His arguments became sharper, his presence in the courtroom stronger. What Ryan didn't expect, however, was how his own reputation was changing. Colleagues began to see him differently, not just as a skilled attorney, but as a leader. Instead of being just another ambitious lawyer climbing the ranks, he was someone who helped others rise with him. A few weeks later, Ryan and James were both called into Mr. Whitman's office. "You've both done incredible work," Mr. Whitman said, glancing between them. "And I have to say, Ryan, I've been particularly impressed by your leadership these past few weeks." Ryan braced himself. Was this it? The moment where James's improvement meant Ryan would lose the promotion? But Mr. Whitman smiled. "We've decided to promote both of you to senior partner." Ryan's eyes widened. "Both of us?" "Yes," Mr. Whitman said. "This firm isn't just about individual success, it's about strengthening the entire team. And what you two have demonstrated is exactly what we value." Ryan glanced at James, who looked equally shocked. Slowly, they both smiled. That night, as Ryan walked out of the office, he felt something different. This victory wasn't just about the title. It was about realizing that success is not a solo journey. Helping James hadn't weakened him. In fact, it had elevated both of them. From that day forward, Ryan carried that lesson with him. True success isn't just about reaching the top alone, it's about lifting others along the way.